properties. They are everything, like remodeling, new addition of and more. They take from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
It's springtime, and you know what that means. It's sandal season at Shoe Fit. To celebrate the start of the season, we're offering $10 off sandals under $105 and $15 off sandals $110 or more. Now through May 14th, enjoy brands like Atrex, Tiva, Clarks, Taos, and many more on sale. Deal will long, so come on down to Brown Shoe Fit for our spring sandal sale. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. Brown Shoe Fit Lincoln, 66 NQ.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Menu, order carry out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Gather round. This is the Ticket Water Cooler.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clearing.
Happy Wednesday to the Ticketverse out there. This is the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. Plenty of sports talk coming up, including Nebraska's basketball team getting a little bit bigger, and they've got 12, 13 guys on scholarship now, and I think they're all going to play. So, I mean, we're going to have to find some minutes for somebody here. But we'll talk a little bit about that. Lots of stuff going on in the sports world. But, Rico, how's it going? I, of course, know that you are pretty happy, even though you played a Jimmy Butler-less
Don't do that.
At least you did tie the series up.
Don't do that.
Well, that's a pretty big deal.
They played a Julius Randle-less team in the first game, and nobody made a big deal about that. Everybody's like, oh, well, look at the Heat. Look how good they are. Oh, so
Julius
good.
Randle is good. Jimmy Butler
Julius Randle averaged 28 points against the Heat this season.
Okay. But Butler has been incredible for these playoffs. So
Okay.
that's kind of a big distinction without him.
Good for him. Good for him. Julius Randle has been really good for the Knicks this season. So,
Yeah.
look, both teams won a game without the superstar of that team playing.
Okay.
Now we go to Miami and see what's up.
Yeah. It's a good series, and hopefully my team, the Celtics, can tie their series up tonight, so that we get plenty of good series. Are you counting the Suns out now? They're down 2-0 to the Nuggets?
Yeah, because Chris Paul's out for 3, 4, and 5.
Paul's out, yeah.
Which they're not making it to 5.
You think it's a sweep?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Look, Denver's looked really good. Even with like the last game was probably as close as it's going to be because Jamal Murray shot like poop. Jamal Murray was like 3 for 15. Couldn't hit a shot until the final minute and a half where he hit 2 fadeaway jumpers. He's not going to play that badly the entire time. Nikola Jokic couldn't get an assist till halfway through the first quarter or halfway through the second quarter or something like that. I didn't watch the entire game, but they were talking about it after the game. It took him a while to get his first assist, and that's something that he's really good at doing. So, no, the Nuggets are on a completely different level, and if you don't have your floor general in Chris Paul for Phoenix, it's going to be really difficult because now you're going to rely on I don't even know who to run your offense. Maybe Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. And although both of those two are fantastic all-stars, Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer. I don't know about running an offense for them. They are very prolific scorers, but in terms of setting other people up and getting everybody in the right positions to succeed, I don't know if those two can do that. by themselves without a true point guard. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in the Phoenix series, but I am not expecting Phoenix to get a game, even with the series switching to Phoenix for the next 2 games.
Well, it's weird too, and there's plenty of good things like for the NBA to cheer on here. You've got your major market teams, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Celtics, the 76ers. You've got the dynasty in Golden State. I mean, there's a lot of good storylines going here, and because of those big cities and just dynasties, you've got to be tired of watching Golden State keep winning these games, winning these championships. All of that, and I still feel like the Suns are the least likable of the teams left.
Yes.
Which is it's funny because franchise wise, you kind of just forget about the Suns for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some runs here and there, but you never hate them.
No title.
And now there's all these teams that traditionally get a lot of hatred. Yet I can't get it in my heart to cheer for the Suns. And I'm sorry, Suns fans. I know there are a few of you out there. Kevin Durant, obviously very unlikable for his moves he's made. Chris Paul, a pretty unlikable guy for a majority of the league. And DeAndre Ayton, even a very
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't think DeAndre Ayton's really done anything to be disliked, but he is disliked for what I don't know why, but he is.
He had a little bit of argument with management last year.
Yeah, he had
made him look like less of a team player.
He had like a small tough guy phase where it was like, oh, cool, this guy's really, and then it just didn't last. I would say Phoenix is up there. I think it's still, the 2 most storied franchises in LA and Boston. LA is going to get that because it's LA and because
LeBron.
of LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think they'll get a lot of hate that way. And then Boston, just because it's Boston. I don't really think they have, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum aren't really. Jason Tatum's actually pretty well liked throughout the league and throughout the fan bases outside of, when he's playing your team. I don't really see a lot of hate for Jason
People
Tatum.
don't like Marcus Smart.
People strongly dislike Marcus Smart,
Yeah.
but I would say it's those 3 at the top, and I could say the Knicks just because Knicks fans are obnoxious, and that is very true. I mean, they were partying on 7th Avenue last night after 1 win in the second round. Granted, it's been since 2012, 2013 since the Knicks have even been in the second round, let alone won a game. So it's a pretty big deal for Knicks fans, and I understand that there's a lot of vitriol coming that way, but you're right. The Suns are pretty high up there, despite being one of 2 teams one of the only 2 teams currently playing right now that don't have a title at all, ever.
Is that the Nuggets?
Yes.
So we'll see kind of how all that turns out. Again, the next game tonight.
I'm pretty sure Denver doesn't have a title. Now I have to check. Now I have to make sure because they mentioned it. Somebody mentioned it, but I feel like Denver has one.
I don't know if they're in the ABA
they don't have an NBA title. Maybe
I don't even remember if they are. That kind of predates me to see which teams were in the ABA before the merger.
Yes.
But
nope, no championships, no conference titles either.
Well, there you go.
12 division titles in the ABA, no, 2 in the ABA, 10 in the NBA division titles, no conference titles, and no championships. There you go. So Denver and Phoenix.
I'm trying to think of all the Nuggets all-time greats. I guess Carmelo was in there.
See, now it's
Alex English.
definitely Alex English. So now it's going to be, and Denver Nuggets fans are not going to like this, but it's going to be a weird situation if/when they want to retire Melo's number in Denver because Nikola Jokic is wearing it.
Oh, is it? Okay. That will be a weird situation.
They gave at the time that he left and the time that they had drafted Nikola Jokic, one of the top 2 Nuggets of all time. They gave his number to a 2nd round draft pick from overseas, and they're like, "Yep, here you go." Because they were mad at him because he forced his way out of Denver.
Yeah.
He did get them a lot of picks and a lot of good players that have helped them out along the years, but they were upset with him because he didn't want to be in Denver. He wanted to be in New York, so he forced his way out via a trade. So they gave his number to a 2nd round draft pick, and turns out that 2nd round draft pick is pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe he can retire both numbers.
You can. That's happened.
Different banners.
Yeah, it's happened in other places. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Do you think AD's number will be in the rafters for Los Angeles?
For LA?
LeBron said it the other day.
Ooh.
He did win a title.
He did.
If you win 2, absolutely.
Yeah, if he gets the second one, definitely. If he wins an MVP there, Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have to play like
He's
a
only
lot of
played.
the
He's only
season.
played like 50 games.
Yeah, you have
for
to play
LA.
a lot of season. Yeah, that's what I don't know. That's a tough call. And then more normal franchise, like you said, they have 1 or 0, 2
Yeah.
titles. Absolutely.
Does his
but
number get retired in New Orleans?
the Lakers, yeah, I don't think so.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, they don't have any numbers to retire, I suppose.
No, Chris Paul's.
Yeah,
It wasn't a He wasn't a Pelican,
right.
but he was a Hornet.
Which
He was also
it's
an
hard to
Oklahoma.
track which like franchise.
Yeah,
that is,
he was
you
also
know.
an Oklahoma City Hornet.
Was he? Oh, that's right. He was
That year that they
in
played. That year
Oklahoma
that they
City.
played after Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't like Chris Paul. So
And then he was in
no.
Oklahoma. Played for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Hmm.
So he was in Oklahoma City twice.
Yeah.
Think of that. 2 different franchises, though.
I'm kind of, I just do not like Chris Paul, so
That's fine.
I don't.
You don't
way,
have to.
Yeah, I don't have to.
I dislike Chris Paul after the Carmelo Anthony Houston fiasco
What's that?
because they're supposed to be boys, and Chris Paul didn't stand up for him at all.
That's because he didn't accept his role.
Yeah, he
that
did. In
probably
Houston, he
needed to
did.
take. Yeah,
He came off the bench for the what, like 13 games that they played him.
yeah. They didn't experiment. Didn't last long.
He came off the bench. He played really well. And then when both Harden and CP3 were hurt, he started and he won them 3 out of 4 games. I remember this
Yeah, you remember these things
because I went to one of them. It was up in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
James Harden played in that one. He didn't play very well, but he played.
Were you shocked? Like I mean, there was stories going around and about like people making fun of James Harden, like he couldn't turn on the old Houston James Harden again. Were you shocked? I mean, it was his career playoff high. I'm not saying that it wasn't surprising that he kind of got up to that high, but if you take 33 points per game out of the rotation and he's the next guy, like
I still feel pretty good because he can still. The thing is, he can still score. He's still good, adept at drawing fouls, getting to the line, and hitting free throws. He's a very good free throw shooter. He's still a very good 3-point shooter. And I don't know if people remember this, but in Houston, in Brooklyn, and for a while with Philadelphia, he was running the show from the point guard position. So it's not like he doesn't know how to get people in the positions that they need to be in to succeed. It's not like he's a bad passer or bad ball handler.
He led the nation or the league in assists.
He
year.
just,
Last 2 years,
you know what he's done in Philadelphia? He's taken a back seat to Joel Embiid, who is the MVP. Everybody would have taken a back seat to Embiid, so he's not scoring as much as he usually does because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So I was surprised by people. There was a clip where people were laughing about James Harden carrying Philadelphia to a win. Now, I didn't think they were going to win without Joel, but I didn't think that James Harden was just going to lay down and roll over and let the Celtics, run all over him. So to hear people just kind of bash James Harden, even though I'm not the biggest James Harden fan, to hear people bash him and talk about him like he's some scrub and I feel like he saw that too, and it was kind of disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even like Cowherd said he's like now just a role player in Philadelphia. It's like, dude, he led the league in assists. I know it's great to bash him because he didn't have his, didn't always have the best playoff runs and didn't win a championship as a number 1 guy, but very successful player. And we'll kind of see if he's able to repeat that. Joel Embiid
maybe
will be
he's
back tonight.
Yeah, maybe he's one of those guys that if he's your number 1, you can't win a championship. But if he's your number 2, wait a minute, you got yourself a really good team on your hands.
Yeah. And I just can't wait for the NBA Finals matchup to happen. We'll see Joel Embiid again, easily winning MVP. Might have a matchup with Nikola
I don't think
Jokic.
it should have been that easy.
Probably not, but it was a landslide vote.
I thought Nikola was going to be a 3-time. And look, this is going to rub some people the wrong way, and I don't care. Nikola Jokic should have won it. He played another fantastic season this year for Denver. The best record in the NBA, I believe. Unless Milwaukee got it. It was one of those two.
Right up there.
The one of the best records in the NBA this season, averaged almost a triple-double again. Was putting up numbers that you don't see, passing wise out of a big in the NBA outside of himself. And sure, his defense was a little suspect at times, but he's still an extremely valuable piece to this Denver Nuggets squad.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and also
he's right up
he
there.
played more games than Joel Embiid did this season, and the best ability is availability. And Joel Embiid wasn't available for all the games for Philadelphia this season. I don't know exactly how many Nikola Jokic missed this season, but I know it was less than Joel Embiid did.
I'll tell you though, 33 points, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
So I mean, if you're going to lead the league in scoring 2 years in a row, I don't have a problem with it, especially like you said, the defensive side is a much bigger presence there. Not knocking Nikola Jokic at all, because he is indeed second in MVP race. That's still pretty darn good.
Mhm.
But I did expect to be a little bit closer. And it would. There's a lot of other matchups that I'd probably choose first for the NBA for storylines. But if it comes down to Embiid and Jokic in the finals, that will be really good too. So we'll kind of see how all that plays out.
I mean, Jokic averaged 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Well, 9.8 assists.
Yeah.
Not exactly a triple, but 9.8. I'm running it
Pretty
at
darn
10.
close.
So 24, 11.8, and 9.8.
Yeah.
At the big man, and he played more games. I don't know. Just my thought.
Yeah.
1.3 steals, 0.7 blocks, whatever.
But again, it's not like he's, they're denigrating him to like third grade.
He's the runner. He's the runner-up.
He's the runner-up.
And he won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I think the whole.
I think that factors into it. Too.
Well, I think the whole. We can't give it to him 3 years in a row. There's never been a 3-time, back-to-back MVP. Nikola Jokic can't be the first one. Why? Somebody has to be the first.
Yeah.
Why can't it be him?
Yeah.
And then somebody said, if Joel Embiid goes through his prime and doesn't win an MVP, like that's ridiculous. I was like, well, I mean, you have to be the best player in the league to win the MVP.
Yeah.
So.
These aren't just handed out,
Yeah, you can't just feel bad for somebody and give them an MVP. That's not how this works.
But
I'm not an MVP voter.
It is kind of how it works, because there's 100 guys on, 100 people that vote for the MVP. One of the voters, we talked about how LeBron didn't get a vote. One of the voters, just was he didn't put Nikola Jokic in his top 5.
Yeah.
And it's probably because of that stuff you're talking about. 3-time MVP.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. When clearly he is a top 5 player this year, especially it's a
whoever
regular
did that
season
should
award.
get their MVP voting rights stripped away.
Yeah. I mean,
what are you doing?
Making a mockery of the game. Mockery of the award.
You disgust me. How dare you?
All right, let's take a break.
Jalen Brunson got MVP votes.
Jalen Brunson got 1 5th-place MVP vote.
Still counts.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some Husker basketball. As we mentioned earlier, Josiah Alec returning home. Is it helpful to have a Lincolnite on the team? We'll talk about that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's springtime, and you know what that means. It's sandal season fit. To celebrate the start of the season, we're offering $10 off sandals under $105 and $15 off sandals $110 or more, now through May 14th. Enjoy brands like Atrex, Teva, Clarks, Taos, Keen, and many more on sale now. This deal won't last long, so come on down to Brown Shoe Fit for our spring sandal sale. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. Brown Shoe Fit Lincoln, 66 NQ.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off of stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with the roof credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC. Your path to possible.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, ready to talk some Nebraska basketball as the team just keeps getting bigger, just keeps getting better. And maybe, again, we talked about it the other day when Aaron Eulis joined. Maybe it's not the knock it out of the park. You're going to read it around nationally. The Nebraska basketball has one of the top transfer portal classes. But here locally, you've got to feel pretty good about not just the pieces that they're adding, but a little bit of local flavor, which I think is great. Josiah Alec coming home for Nebraska, used to play at Lincoln North Star, which additional question, I was kind of thinking about it. Mm-hmm. How many North Star athletes? I don't know if there's ever been a North Star Nebraska basketball player. North Star came out about 2003. I'd have to go back and look exactly.
Donovan Williams almost.
Then
he went to Oklahoma State, and now he's at somewhere in California, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I don't think anybody's gone from North Star and played at Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't recall that. So maybe
there's
that's
a first.
Yeah. And also his sister, of course, Becca Alec, plays on the volleyball team. So very cool for the Alec family. Just thank God they're here.
Mm-hmm. Their dad said it'll make going to games a lot easier. Travel plans aren't going to have to be as difficult.
And I think it is an element. I don't think you can't force it. I mean, if Lincoln doesn't have a prospect that's good enough to force him in there. But of course, we saw last year with Sam Griesel. It's just kind of his dream coming true. Josiah Alec, I know I saw an interview with him. He was very much having to take his heart out of it, trying to find the best basketball fit. Mm-hmm. Still felt like Nebraska was the place to go. And so Nebraska adds not just a local Lincoln flavor to it, but a pretty good player as far as at least depth on the front line. So and Nebraska looks pretty good with depth on the front line. You might not have Derek Walker. You're not going to have the second team, third team All Big Ten last year. But they do have some pretty good depth there. When you think of Blaze Keita, Breidenbach, Rink Moss, and now Alec, there's been years where Nebraska has, a center and then a project or a walk-on behind them where it's just like there's no big man depth. I feel pretty good about the big man depth they had. We talk about how you added Ulis. I think as a true point guard, maybe not the starter, maybe not an all-conference point guard, but at least a guy that you feel comfortable handling the ball. So those fits kind of work. Eli Rice coming in from IMG Academy. If you can get Tamanaga back, of course, that raises your ceiling quite a bit. DeMarcus Lawrence to take that next step. I mean, again, it's not necessarily going to lead the Big Ten preview when BTN goes out there, but I think Nebraska basketball feels good, not just in that it's in Alec is a 1-year guy. All these other guys were Bryce Williams. These guys are 2-year guys. It feels like a sustainable roster is starting to kind of be put in place as well.
Yeah, they're building not only for 1 year, they're building for future years of Nebraska basketball. They're not looking at, it's 1 year, we have to win right away, and then, going on from there. So it's looking really interesting for Nebraska basketball, and with a player like Josiah Alec, where adding him and adding Rink Moss are not polar opposites, but Rink Moss, he can shoot the three at a pretty high clip. He doesn't shoot it a lot, but he's pretty solid with that. And inside, he's gonna hit you more with like post hooks and some fancy footwork in the post. Whereas Josiah Alec is a lot more athletic, I believe, than Rink Moss. So this last year he didn't shoot. I don't know exactly how many threes he shot, but he didn't shoot it particularly well. 15.8% for last year. But if you look at the 2 years prior, 36 and 35% from 3-point. And he averaged more points per game, obviously, with that improved 3-point shot. Granted, he played less games, but he averaged.
And he was playing in Kansas City.
Yeah,
so
he was averaging 15 and 12
last year.
So he transferred to New Mexico, but he averaged, 8 points and 7 rebounds, which if we're talking about Nebraska men's basketball, rebounding has been kind of a concern for Nebraska for quite some time, because although, Derek Walker played an amazing game and not to take anything away from him, he wouldn't grab as many rebounds. He was really good at boxing out and keeping the big away from getting the boards. But in terms of, everybody else grabbing the boards, it was kind of a concern. So adding, Josiah Alec and Rink Moss, who in the portal was considered one of the better rebounders in the portal, adding 2 guys season out of Blaze Keita, you're going to have 3 guys who are pretty adept at getting boards. And hopefully that'll lead to more success for Nebraska basketball. But Alec in the post is going to be more of an athletic big. He won't be one of those guys where you dump it down low and you're like, okay, go make a move and beat your guy one-on-one. He's gonna be one of those guys where probably some backdoor cuts, some lobs. He is a lob threat. That's something we talked about, I don't know, a couple months ago, where we don't know the last time Nebraska had a guy who would just block shots and catch lobs. I don't know if he's that, blocking shots, but in terms of catching lobs and being that kind of big, that's something that Josiah Alec is going to add to the table for Nebraska basketball.
Well, and like you said, 6'8", he can play as big, and his hair is big, so it makes him look even bigger. So that helps out a little.
Great
bit
hair
too.
in that family.
Great hair, and he'll be welcome in as one of the best hair guys for.
Look, if his sister gets up, if he can get up as high as his sister can, yeah, he's a lob threat. Because she has bounce. So we'll see.
Is he maybe not quite Dubio KK? Remember him?
I do remember Dubio KK.
That guy could bounce.
He needs to be much better than Dubio
He's
KK.
probably a better basketball player, but man, could that guy.
Dubio KK was also a great fouler.
Yes. He had a few blocks, definitely a few fouls, and usually a highlight dunk every game.
Yeah, every once in a while.
That was about it.
Snap.
Not a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
That was it. But that was kind of a fun addition for Nebraska late in the Tim Miles era. But again, I think it's you get to a point again. I don't know if you have an all Big Ten player amongst the group. I think that Keisei Tamanaga certainly will be considered and will probably get preseason recognition with that. So I kind of take that back. I think DeMarcus Lawrence has it in him if the kind of progresses to be that one day. But again, I think that there's going to be some fight for playing time here. When I look down, when I just name these guys, I mean, you've kind of got either a plan or a visualization that they'll play or kind of what role they're in.
Mm-hmm.
But really, once you get down to it, there's only about, maybe 8 or 9 guys that play. So Josiah Alec, Bryce Williams, and Rick Moss, of course, the new guys. Juwan Gary, he's got a role coming up. CJ Wilcher, William Breidenbach, Blaze Keita, and Aaron Eulis. Again, guys that have played or you expect to have a role. Jamarcus Lawrence, Ramel Lloyd Jr., and Eli Rice. And then there's a walk-on that was pretty good by the end of last year by the name of Sam Hoiberg.
That is 12.
That's a lot of guys, again, fighting for 8 or 9 spots. And what it's going to do, too, is give you a lot of versatility with the different kind of bodies that you can throw out there. Again,
maybe they'll go line changes. They'll just go
they will.
One group and the second group. That just everybody switches out at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be tough to get minutes on this squad, and of course, that's going to make it. This might be as deep as a Nebraska basketball team as we've seen again in quite some time. I would have to think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a team that had 12 players who are going to be. I mean, that's 12 players that played very high minute. Well, aside from Ramel Lloyd Jr. last year, but 11 players who played a decent amount of minutes for whatever college they were at the Division I level last season. So that's a good problem to have for Fred Hoiberg, though. Having guys on the bench who you can turn to, hopefully, and they'll give you solid minutes and solid production is a good problem for Fred Hoiberg because, as you just said, in the past, you look down the bench after your first 7, you're like, okay, now where do we go? Who are we going to turn to get, if somebody's in foul trouble, who are we going to turn to, to grab boards, to guard this person, to score the basket? Like it was a problem that Nebraska basketball had, and hopefully this is something that they're not going to have to deal with this next season because, as you said, you got 12 people and you're throwing in Sam Hoiberg, and not to sound rude, like throwing in Sam Hoiberg, but the walk-on, the guy that you probably least expect to play next season, put up some amazing numbers and some amazing performances towards the end of the season last year. So that's a guy that is definitely going to fight for some playing time.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a pretty good roster and something that Nebraska can kind of improve on. And again, has some of the pieces now. You're 4 deep in the big man. You got your true point guard.
That was something we were worried about, was the big man rotation.
Yeah.
And now you got guys who have a lot of different specialties, probably. I think Blaze Keita is that rebounding defensive guy. Josiah Alec is the lob threat. And again, defensive wise, I think I'd have to go back and look, but that's another guy. And all your bigs can rebound at a high level. And then Wilhelm and Rink you need him to take a step forward. And if he's going to be that stretch 4, stretch 5, he's going to need to improve that 3-point shot. Obviously, if he's going to continue to shoot it, he needs to make it at a higher rate. And then Rink is probably your most polished big and probably the guy who's going to start for you. Like, I think if I told you that Rink Mass was starting day 1, that wouldn't be a surprise, right?
No.
Like, that's the guy who you're probably expecting to be that day 1 starter, and then you're going to fill in the bigs after that. But having this big man depth is, again, as I said earlier, a good problem to have, because last year it was Derek Walker, Blaze Keita was hurt, and Wilhelm Breidenbach was inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for guys too, like with the depth that we're talking about, you've had flashes from Breidenbach, from CJ Wilcher, but they've had a little bit of inconsistency. If that's going to be a big part of it. If you're going to stay in the rotation this year, it's you're going to have to bring it every day. If not, I mean, again, it's still worth a shot and see if CJ has it going, because he can put 5 threes on the board at any given day. Just hasn't done it consistently, or haven't made enough of them and been a factor enough in that way consistently. That still not a bad problem. You could try him out. If it's not his night, all right, then we've got
other
more
guys.
options. Yeah. So Nebraska basketball, I'm really excited about. And it kind of changes too. It's kind of funny because Aaron Eulis the other day, we were just kind of talking like, it doesn't wow me. And again, I don't think this is a class full of people that absolutely wow you, but it's we're talking about fits. Nebraska basketball has had some players under Fred Hoiberg. They just haven't really fit together for the most part until this past year's team. And now things are looking up for Nebraska basketball.
You've got a good base for Nebraska basketball. You've got a good group of guys who, again, although it wasn't the most successful season last year, it was the most successful season that Fred Hoiberg has had as Nebraska's head coach. You finish the season at 500. You lose your first round Big Ten game, unfortunately, to finish at 16-17. But you have a good base despite losing 3 key contributors from last year. The guys who transferred out, not to be rude, but weren't offering as much to the squad as some of the guys that have stayed. So to have the guys that did stay and to have them be some constant contributors to the team, and then to build around that with the transfers that they've brought in, is hopefully going to lead to some more success this next season for Nebraska basketball. Because before, at the end of the season, you saw a mass exodus and a mass entrance for the men's team.
Yeah, it's good to get some consistency from year to year within the roster. And again, I just, you talk about all this depth, all the excitement, Juwan Gary coming back to be the energizer. I still just love the upside of Jamarcus Lawrence, no matter how they're going to use him off guard or kind of teach him a little bit more from the point. And then Keisei Tamanaga. I'm not kidding when I say I think that's an all Big Ten type of guy, because, I mean, if you're going to put 20 on the board like he was consistently toward the end of last year, I mean, that's what you're talking about there. So big year coming up for Husker Hoops. We'll take a break. We'll talk some more Husker sports and just national sports all together with Nick Sander, who's going to jump in from Happy Hour coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
There's never been a better time for checking account. Open a free Kasasa cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa checking account or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with us.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream your the Mary Express Lunch Buffet. From Monday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday, one price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make a short drive down Highway 2 for tons of your home, both indoors and outside a variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up. They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Day sale with everything on sale. Get 15% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 20% off a decorative cobblestone for stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Day sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's springtime, and you know what that means. It's sandal season at Brown Shoe Fit. To celebrate the start of the season, we're offering $10 off sandals under $105 and $15 off 110 more now through May 14th. Enjoy brands like Parks Tower on sale now. This deal won't last long, so come on down to for our spring sandal sale. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. Brown Shoe Fit Lincoln, 66 in Q.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly sunny skies, another beautiful day as we'll see slightly warmer temps. We should top out at around 77. South winds at around 10 to 15. Overnight, a very slight chance of thunderstorms around 51. With that slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, the high again around 77. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the crossover here with Happy Hour in the Ticket Water Cooler. Nick Sainer jumping in studio here with Rico and myself. I am Jake Balkovin. I want to ask you guys a question. We've seen plenty of the NFL, different teams try to go not just overseas, but, to Mexico and such. College football played in Mexico City. What are you guys' thoughts on that? The Big 12 is trying to get it done. Houston could play a basketball game in Mexico City as soon as next season. And it's all part of the desire to play basketball and football in Mexico in the next 2 years. Do you like the Big 12 in Mexico?
I guess.
Why do we have this desire to play in Mexico?
Because it's the closest.
Isn't it pretty dangerous down there right now?
I don't
know.
I don't think they would.
I thought that. Never mind. We're not going to start.
No.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
For some reason,
it's pretty
I
dangerous in Canada.
For some reason, I thought it was dangerous in Mexico right now.
No,
probably depending on what areas you go to. It could be dangerous to go to Chicago right now. What area you go to?
That is dangerous in Lincoln.
It's dangerous in Lincoln.
Is it dangerous?
It's a danger-filled hellscape.
Oh, that's right. Haven't you seen the ads lately? Lincoln's falling apart.
Okay, so here it is. This is from
Did you just look up, is Mexico dangerous?
I said, is it dangerous to go to Mexico? And this comes just last month, April 16th, 2023. From the New York Times, it says, a majority of visitors enjoy a safe vacation in Mexico because tourists are largely sheltered from the violence that grips every single local community.
That's right. You go to resorts. You don't really go to...
Yeah, so are they going to be playing on a resort?
They're going to be playing in Mexico City, like where all the NFL teams play. You haven't heard any violence with them?
I haven't heard any of it.
Oh yeah, well look, I looked up it's dangerous to go to Canada. Canada is generally a very safe place to travel or live.
The best part is that I booked a trip to Mexico in January. So
Oh, nice.
we're
So,
about
yeah,
to find
you
out. We're
better
about to
look it up,
find out
yeah.
anyway.
With crime rates that are comparably very low in most Canadian tourist destinations.
Yeah.
The public health situation continues to evolve in Canada, so visitors should exercise caution and follow the most recent public health advisories for their specific destination.
Speaking of travel, how often do you guys stop at rest areas? Like, and I'm talking like designated rest areas, not truck stops. The ones just on the side of the road where it's like one
Rest
girl's
area.
bathroom,
Yeah.
one boy's men's bathroom, men's and women's bathroom, and that's it.
Girls and boys.
Yep, just one bathroom that has one stall. There's nothing to do. There might be a couple picnic
Showers?
tables. No, 'cause that's a
no.
truck
Showers,
stop.
okay, yeah.
But I'm talking just. So basically, like in between, there's one in between like Gretna. And
We all
the Platte River.
know what you're talking about.
There's one between Gretna and the Platte River.
You don't have to
going
keep
back
this-
to Lincoln.
You don't have to keep describing it.
And I just wonder how
We all
often
know
those
what you're
things
talking
get
about.
used by non-semi drivers.
A decent amount. We used to do it a lot when we would travel longer distances, but
Yeah.
we haven't lately. With the track team, we did it a lot. But yeah,
Really?
Because like I find myself going, there's a truck stop up here.
Mhm.
When I pass like a rest area sign, I'm like, and I got to go to the bathroom. I'm not like, I'm going to stop at the rest area. I would rather stop at a truck stop.
You stop at the
'cause
rest
then you can
area.
get a soda.
Well, you can get a soda at the rest area. You just have to use the vending machine.
That's right. Yeah.
Wait,
Usually cans.
it is dangerous to go to Mexico.
It's always been
Why is it
dangerous to go to Mexico.
Well, yeah, depending on what part of Mexico
Yes.
you're going to, and I'm
See?
pretty sure at any time you
Don't-
Google, is it dangerous to go to Mexico?
Yeah.
At times, yeah.
Thunder Knot Collins says that tourists are getting killed. I don't know, guys.
It's dangerous to go to Europe too. I mean, there are people kidnapping people over there. So
Have I told you guys the pickpocket story from Europe?
that you went to Europe? Did you know that you went to Europe?
No. I said the pickpocket story.
But where were you?
Austria.
That's what I thought.
Was that part of a high school trip or you just
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was. But anyway.
Yeah, high school is going to Europe.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wish
Here's
I
the
would have
thing,
been
I saved
part
up
of
for
one of those high
four
schools.
years.
It's whatever, man.
Yeah.
My school would
Washington
never.
D.C.
My school would never.
I bet they would.
They would not.
They would take a trip.
Not to Europe.
You have to pay for it. I don't know. It has nothing to do with the school. You got to pay for it, whether you go to Bellevue West or whether you go to Lincoln High. or what-
402-464-5685. How many of your high schools would have taken you to Europe?
No. How many of your high schools, this would be the correct way to frame it, how many of your high schools introduced this Europe trip your freshman year and say, we're going your senior year, so you have 4 years to save up for it?
I feel like there's going to be
Nobody
less.
saves up for that Washington, D.C. trip. It's just like, all right, yeah, you got to go on the Washington, D.C. trip. And guess what? We'll give it to you at a
I feel like
discounted rate.
a lot of high schoolers go to like the Washington D.C.
Yeah,
trip.
I
Like,
want it to be
that's-
different.
but not Europe.
I wanted to be
Do you
different.
have
You
to
got to
be
get a
part of band or
passport.
something,
You
or
gotta-
they're just-
no.
no.
I did not have to be part of band. It was
They just went.
They
I
just-
was- I
just
was
whoever
in-
wants to go.
They were
was
like,
in
"Hey,
my
let's go to
freshman-
Europe."
I was
Oh,
in my
yeah.
freshman year world history class, and the teacher was like, "Hey, I do one of these trips every year for that year's senior class. that
Every year.
we introduce it. It's part of like it's like educational tours or what something. There's some company that like gives discounts." And she's like, "You have 4 years to save it up. Here's all the info. Let me know if you want to start saving." And I was like,
What do you save? Like grades?
Tons of money. No, tons of money. Money.
Oh,
or
yeah.
you know how much, like, I understand that, you just said that your teacher said that there's like discounted rates. I don't know about you. I know a couple teachers. I don't know if they have enough money to go to Europe every year.
Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying.
You're just trying to say Nick's spoiled or something?
Yeah, like what are you trying to
What are you
say?
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying Nick went to
I
Europe.
went over there.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were in Normandy the first day. I couldn't buy a crepe. I was annoyed.
Couldn't buy a crepe.
I couldn't buy a crepe.
But you
for
know what he did
Normandy.
do? Went to a
What?
beer house.
Oh,
I
nice.
did Hofbrauhaus.
Where'd you get pickpocketed?
In Austria, we were getting ready to go up to Hitler's old hideout. It's called the Eagle's Nest.
Sound like a
No,
good
no,
place to go
no.
hang
So
out.
we were getting ready to go, and I'm like standing behind, and all of a sudden I feel the back on my backpack, the zipper opening up, and there's like signs, signs everywhere that says "Be careful of pickpockets,"
Mhm.
obviously like
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I whip around, and the guy just turns and just like looks away to the side, and I like take my backpack off, and I zipped it closed, and ever since,
You carry it on the front.
the rest of the trip, I carried it on.
Yeah.
The front.
Yep, you carry it on the front.
Did he get anything out of the bag?
No,
No.
At least you don't think so.
thankfully because I checked, my wallet was in my pocket when I got off the bus.
Yeah.
But-
Gotta be watching out.
No,
as a
we had
tourist.
two like people that tourist guides.
Yeah.
That just stuck with us.
As you should.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going in Europe.
No idea. No idea.
You would have gotten lost. We never would have heard from Nick.
I would never. I just told you that in November I would have been here at the ticket for 3 years. I wouldn't be here.
Nope.
Yeah.
At all.
Wouldn't have been here.
He would have been lost in Europe.
Happy hour probably wouldn't exist.
Yeah, it would.
There'd just be somebody else.
Just be somebody else.
Not you. Yeah.
I'd replace you with a different Pius grad.
Dang. That's so sad.
Has to be
think
somebody
about.
from Pius.
That's so sad.
Them's the rule.
So he can also complain to
So
them
I could
about
say,
how
oh, you
their
went to
trips-
Europe,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah.
No, that's not. I'm not. See, this is the worst part about this is that I don't talk about it that often, but also it's the only time I've ever been on a plane.
Is it really?
That's what's going to be wild. Is after January, I've been on the plane twice.
Wow.
Well, two trips, multiple times throughout the course. But 2 trips. It'll be to Europe and to Mexico.
I have also only been on a plane twice.
I have not flown domestic.
I went to
Always international.
Yeah, see, I went to New York and Puerto Rico.
Twice.
The only 2 times I've been on a plane.
Wait, so you've been to Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know.
See, I've never flown.
That's still America, so
Yeah.
I
didn't need a
guess so.
passport.
Yeah. That was I wonder.
Plus, I have family over there, so it's not like that was
I
okay.
could,
Just winging it.
I can find family.
You can find family,
I can find family.
like family that you've talked to multiple times, family that you could FaceTime right now.
No.
In Europe. No.
Nah. Yeah. But no, Hoffer House was fun. I highly recommend if you ever find yourself in Munich.
Yeah.
I'll write it down
Someday.
Go ahead, write it down.
I was gonna go to Europe and then I broke my arm and I decided I don't want to go to Europe with a broken arm. And then COVID came.
So then you couldn't go to
And
Europe.
then I couldn't go to Europe.
Yeah, a lot of people got their trips taken because of COVID. Sad.
Yeah.
I wasn't going anywhere, so it was okay.
Yeah. A lot of good concerts too. I was planning on going to, got canceled going to there. Oh well.
Thunder Not
I was-
Collins wants
I
me
was-
to prove that I can.
I was supposed to FaceTime your Puerto Rican people.
My Puerto Rican people, my peoples. Okay.
No, please don't. Not right
What?
now.
You just told me to. FaceTime my aunt.
Rico's like this, like the 14-year-old that's like, I got a lot of cool things and I can show you.
Yeah.
That's the only cool thing I have, and it's not even like it's family. This is not even cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's just family, Rico. It's okay.
Whoa. Garbologist says in some areas the pickpockets actually post a sign that says to look out for pickpocketers because it triggers people to touch their wallet and signals them where to snatch it from.
Ooh.
That's
really smart.
The world is a really scary place if you
Oh, it
truly
is.
think about
Oh
it.
yeah. Very scary.
Be careful.
But it's also a great thing, if you can get down on all the bad things that happen. Great things are happening every day too. So reminder of that. Don't let these guys drag you down.
Everything
We
is
still,
bad.
we still never answered the question of how often do you stop at rest areas?
Barely ever.
Yeah, not often. I would once in a while for a picnic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
big picnic guy.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah, I
picnics
like
are
picnics.
awesome.
Yeah,
Picnics are good.
picnics are
Pro
good.
picnic.
Picnics are elite, as
Yes,
Matt Rule would say.
Yes, except for the flies.
How
Actually,
and the
reversing.
ants.
Yeah, I don't really like.
I
picnics.
feel like picnics. I feel like Matt Rule's picnics are very different from our picnics.
Probably.
All right, that'll wrap it up. You can learn more about picnics coming up next.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is even ready to get them up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Dive into good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonzall Pool and Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonzallpool.com. Bonzall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Mostly sunny skies. Another beautifully slightly warmer temps. We should top out at around 77. South winds at around 10 to 15. Overnight, a very slight low down to 51. We'll continue that slight chance of showers and thunders tomorrow. The high again around 77. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sunday. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 80-cent wings.
Maryland's food for the soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate. Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the Grogan Firebird sandwich,